Hey, what's going on? It is Craig Bennett, a.k.a. Cash Cake, here with DFSArmy. I got an NBA First Look pod here. We're going to talk about Fanduel and DraftKings. We'll go, through talk about some of the chalk that should be here. Again, it's early in the morning, but we'll talk about maybe some good chalk, some bad chalk, hand build a few lineups here for both Fanduel and DraftKings. And again, going through the projections on our domination station. Again, if you don't have an account over at DFSArmy, make sure you sign up, use that promo code CashCake and save yourself 10%. But let's just dive right into it. All right, I have our domination station up on the screen here. I got FanDuel up first. We'll kind of go through this. It's a nice little 8-game slate we have on a little hump day, March 2nd. So we'll talk about a few things. Not going to be a super long video, just going to kind of talk about some of the chalk, some of the ways I think we can get maybe a little bit different, and some of how I see some of the lineups going to go out. We got a bit of injury consideration that we can have to watch out for here, and a couple new faces we haven't seen in a while. We got Isaiah Thomas going to make his debut, I think, for Charlotte here. So we'll see how that affects Lonzo Ball and that guard situation with them. And then the Cleveland, Karis LeVert is still out, but Darius Garland is questionable, so that could change some things. But again, nice 8-game slate. We're just going to sort by projected ownership here early. And it looks like Josh Hart and Trey Lyles are definitely at the top of the list here. And that makes sense. Josh Hart's only 6K going up against Phoenix again. They're without CP3. So it completely makes sense here. I'm going to lock him in when we build this little sample lineup here. Trey Lyles got the start last game over Mo Harkless and had a great game. So if that's the case again, at 3,600 on FanDuel, I think he's a fantastic play. Drew Eubanks has drawn some ownership down here for Portland. He's been kind of all over the place. But Trey Lyles, last game, drew the start, played 30 minutes. We did see Sabonis in some foul trouble, so that probably pushed his minutes a little higher than normal. But again, if he gets a start again at 3,600, scored 33 FanDuel points, but shot 10 for 14 to the field, I don't think we'll see that again, but even if we saw 25 to 27 points out of him, it'd be a great play. But we need him to start, so we're going to put him in there. Jimmy Butler going up against Milwaukee. Again, it's one of those things where there's no Kyle Lowry, so he's going to have to do a little bit more of the heavy lifting going up against Milwaukee. 226, 6.5 over under. Milwaukee favored by 4.5, so as long as that game stays close, Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero are going to have to do a ton of the heavy lifting. 8,400 is a fantastic tag for him. I have no problem playing him in cash games going up against Milwaukee. He'll get up for this game, so we're going to lock him in and we build this. Alec Burks, I do not like this chalk. He's just disappeared completely. This is somebody I would kind of get off of here. We got 28% projected ownership. 4,600 is a good price. I would much rather play Cameron Payne. He's been out for a few games here, but I think it's a situation we can kind of look at and play him. Jokic going up against OKC. He should do whatever he wants to. I'm just worried about the minutes that he's actually going to play, but can't get a better matchup. Absolute nut matchup. Like I said, I don't really like Eubanks. We're going to take off Burks here, and we're going to take off Eubanks because I'm going to fade those guys in this early video here. I can see one of my updates finally went through and it pushed Cameron Payne up a little bit. So we're going to actually lock these four in and kind of see what we get here. More guys that are drawing some ownership. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, same thing with Denver. You got to have to love him. He's at 10K, which is expensive. But again, they don't have any Wiggins, Muscala, Dort, Giddey. It's his entire team. So even at 10K, I think he's definitely in play. Again, Giannis is an awesome play as well. I think we got enough value to get to these guys. Anthony Simons at 6,700 is awesome value as well, in my opinion. Going up against, again, Phoenix, but they're not the same Phoenix team without CP3 and is cheap. So let's just play these four guys and let's just sit there and build 3 lineups and see what we got. So we plug those 3 guys in. What is it giving us here? It's playing Gabe Vincent, 4K. You got to love that. He played really well last game with Kyle Lowry out. And at 4K, fantastic price tag with him. No problem there. Again, I would play him all day over Alec Burks. So something we have to keep in mind with that. Cameron Payne, again, 4,100. Don't know how many minutes he's going to see off the bench, but they need that scoring. And he's shown he can do really well. So I do like this play. I would much rather play him against a bad Portland team than playing Alec Burks going up against Philly, who's just been clicking, and Philly stomped him anyways. And they're 10.5-point favorites, 222.5 over under there. Again, Jimmy Butler, Anthony Simons, like I said, I talked about him. Josh Hart, I love these price tags. Giannis is an easy fit here as long as Trey Lyles starts. So look, you can easily fit in two studs here going with both Giannis and Jokic in these lineups here. So something that it's a pretty good build. I don't know about Jackson Hayes here, but again, we can kind of play around with that a little bit. But I do like this start of a lineup. Again, the two main fades I think this morning, just looking at for me, is Alec Burks and Drew Eubanks. I'm just not feeling this, even though the tags are pretty cheap. Eubanks had one decent game and one really bad game in the two games that he started. Last game, he ended up putting up 27 fantasy points against Denver in 28 minutes. The game before that, he put up 7 in 20 minutes against Golden State. So just kind of a mixed bag there. In play, if you want to play him again at that power forward position and maybe, find somewhere else you want to get to. But again, I prefer Trey Lyles all day long there. So just something to look at. Again, quick run view or quick look at the FanDuel situation. And that's kind of how I see that. Mikal Bridges, 5,400. I love that as well. He's probably a better play, but then you got to get to Keon Johnson if you want to get to that tag. And I'm not super loving that. I would much rather run a lineup like this with Jackson Hayes here. So again, a lot of ways we can go. We got to get over there, DFS Army, and check out our VIP tools. We got cheat sheets. Things change throughout the day. Again, just kind of a quick run view of what we got going this morning here. Let's head on over to DraftKings and kind of look what they got and kind of see where the ownership is going here as well. Look at some prices. Sort by ownership. Trey Lyles, again, 3,300, over 50%, which makes a ton of sense. If he gets the start, absolute lock for me going up against the Pelicans. Keon Johnson, man, I have a hard time playing him. 3,100, though, opens up a ton, so I'll have to keep an eye on him. Cameron Payne, 4,300. Again, I like this. Again, the minutes a little bit. He's a little bit maybe more risky, but I think the upside is way higher there, so I'd rather play him. Cade Vincent at 4,200, definitely would rather play him. Guys that we can kind of look at in this situation. Garrison Matthews, no thank you. I don't really want that. Even at 3,400, not so excited about him. Again, Shea is 10K again on both sites, but I think it's a site. I think it's something we can kind of take advantage of here. So I kind of like that. Garrison Matthews is going to play a ton of minutes, but man, playing against the Jazz, I don't really trust him that much. And I think we got enough value if we look at Lyles, Payne, and Vincent. That's the kind of value that I do like to see. Donovan Mitchell going up against the Rockets, 8,800, should be able to do whatever he absolutely wants to here. So, and we could see Cameron Payne start. It wouldn't shock me at all if Cameron Payne started just with no CP3. And if he starts, man, he could play 30-plus minutes and actually crush this tag. Pokusevski, I don't know if I want to go him as well, but again, they don't have any bigs, right? And if he's going to play 30 minutes, there is upside there. So I'd consider him. But these kind of fringe plays for me with Keon Johnson, Pokusevski, Mitchell, like I said, Shea, Jokic, fine and play, but 12.4 price tag with him. I don't know if he's going to get there. I think I would rather go Giannis if we're playing high end. If we look at just raw projections here, we've got Jokic up a little bit higher than Giannis. I think I would rather go Giannis if this game stays close with Miami, and maybe you go a Giannis Butler. Butler's at 9,200, and that might seem a little high, but if that game stays close, he's going to have a big game. They played Chicago last game, and it was kind of a blowout, so it didn't have to do much, but 9,200 is a decent tag for him. Same thing, Butler or Bam, 8,700, not carrying a lot of ownership going up against Milwaukee, but Milwaukee hasn't been the best in coming out of the break, and if the game stays close, those are the guys that are going to do the heavy lifting here. James Harden's looked phenomenal. 11-2, though. Joel Embiid, 11-6. You can't play these guys together. I'd make a rule to not play them together. Going up against the Knicks, they're double-digit favorites. They could actually crush them again. James Harden had a massive game against the Knicks last game out, and they just played him a couple days ago. So, is he going to do it again? I don't know. I would make a rule, though, like I wouldn't have Embiid and Harden in the same lineup at those prices. That's just not something I would do. Again, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, 10K. It seems high, but he's going to have to do everything for this team. And if it stays close, he could get there. But Denver's favored by 13.5, the 226 over-under. So not sure that you're going to get there either. Coming down a little bit, Tyrese Halliburton, 8,800. I think we're going to see Malcolm Brogdon going to play, so that really hurts his upside. So I don't really like him at all. De'Aaron Fox going to have to do everything for the Kings. Again, 8,100 is a fair price tag. $8,500 for LaMelo Ball. Like I said, I'm curious how much Isaiah Thomas is going to play and how is that going to affect his minutes. So that's something to keep in mind. And if Darius Garland plays, I think I might be off ball completely. Anthony Simons is $8,200 over here. Too expensive for me. On FanDuel is a fantastic price. On DraftKings, not so much. Oh, Josh Hart, $7,600. Same kind of thing. I would rather play Hart at the depressed price tag over Simons, but FanDuel at 6K is just way better there. So that's where we're going to look. But again, going up to these top tier guys, I think for me, it's Giannis number one so far, then maybe Harden, then Shea, and then I look at Embiid and Jokic next. Embiid and Jokic can crush. They could, but I worry about the minutes with Jokic, even though in the nut matchup, I think in your cash games for sure you could play him, but tournaments, I don't know if we have upside there. And then if we go back to those value pieces, like I said, my favorite so far is Gabe Vincent, probably getting the start again, going up against Milwaukee. Cameron Payne, 4,100, probably getting the start, going up against Portland, fantastic. And then Trey Lyles, if he gets a start. That's really all the value that I need, 42, 43, and 3,300. These other guys would be more fringe pieces for me value, and I think you can get whoever you want to if you lock in Lyles, Payne, and Vincent. So that's who I would look at there. Again, quick down and dirty overview. If you want to see our cheat sheets that we have up each and every day, get in there, ask us some questions. Make sure you head on over to DFSArmy and sign up using that promo code CashGig and save yourself that 10% in the VIP membership. I'll be in there answering questions, hopefully help you win some money. So that was it, NBA First Look Pod. And again, I will see you guys on the flip side. Deuces.